Hi, everyone. I'm Christopher Thornycroft with Redwood Logistics, and welcome to the Redwood Rundown for the week of February 6, 2023. Well, last week there was an ice storm that hit Texas. Really knocked around by that storm. Power grid got knocked offline. We're glad that everyone's safe. We're glad that everyone's okay. We did expect that there was going to be an impact to the market from that, and there was, as the load to truck ratio went from 2.2 to 1 to 2.8 to 1. We think that anytime there's a market movement of 0.5 or greater on the load to truck ratio, that means there was a tangible impact to capacity. At the same time, while that was being felt, there is still a decline of demand. We actually saw demand now has dropped off to its lowest point that's been at since May 10th of 2020, aka when we were just starting to come out of the stay-at-home order. We are at a really low point for demand. If you remember, we've been talking about this every single week, saying that February is going to mark where demand really starts to drop off. How will that impact capacity? How much capacity will start to exit right now? Well, we don't know what capacity has exited at this point in time, but we do know that the order numbers for Class 8s has started to slow on down. Now, that's just in January, but now we see our first year-over-year regression in those numbers. So what does that mean? It could mean that carriers are really considering pausing and actually waiting out and seeing how this market changes as they've replaced a lot of their older aging fleets out there. We'll see how this one goes. 1 month does not make a trend. The other thing that we want to talk about over here, the Fed. The Fed did increase a 0.25% interest rate raise. How that impacts things is that we think that that's going to have a continued stagnation of the housing market. The housing market is incredibly important to freight volumes. If people aren't buying houses, then they're definitely not buying those durable goods that go in and fill those houses. We have the consumer economy that's being affected by these interest rates and by inflation, but that housing market is really big. It should also be said, and we've said it before, that continued cost of borrowing money really keeps capital expenditures on the sidelines. And as capital expenditures are kept on the sidelines, that's a huge boost to the freight market that just does not exist. So we continue to hold the thoughts that from February through April is really going to be the lowest point of the freight market, barring a major recession. That's it. I'm Christopher Thornycroft. I hope you all have a great week. And yeah, if you're rooting for anyone in the Super Bowl, I hope you get what you want. Chiefs, Eagles? I got to go with the Chiefs. Got to root for the Chiefs. Sorry to my one friend in Philadelphia. Take care, everyone. Thank you.